Let's take a look at ArcGIS Pro talking to the Earth Observation Data Hub, or EODH. So on the left here I've got a browser window showing the map user interface of the Data Hub, and I have pre-pinned and selected two data sets, a Sentinel-2 analysis ready data scene and an EOSIS sea surface temperature data set. Now the quickest way to bring these into ArcGIS Pro is via the integration tools and downloading the ArcGIS Pro layer file, and I'll do that for each. So over in ArcGIS Pro, this is just running on my laptop. I go to Map, Add Data, Browse, and I'm just looking for the download folder where those files were just downloaded. I know I can find it in Computer, Home, Downloads. They're the most recent. I can click on them both together, and more or less instantly I have them rendered into my map view as separate layers within ArcGIS Pro. So that's a great starting point, but we've also built a deeper integration, and we'd like to show that. So we've built an add-in specifically for ArcGIS Pro called the EODH add-in, and if you want to use it you'll need to know how to install it. So if you go to Getting Started and Documentation, search for ArcGIS Pro, and this will tell you a bit about it, and importantly tell you that to install it you need this file, which you can find on GitHub. The most recent release will be at the top, and you just need this single file. Download it, double click it. It will ask you to confirm that you want to install, and then once you've installed you need to close ArcGIS Pro and reopen it, because it won't become aware of the add-in until you go through that process. Once it's in place, the first thing you will see is a view like this. So this is a connection tab, and it's asking you for a workspace name and a workspace API key. You have to go into your account, you need to be logged in, have access to a workspace, you view the workspace. The workspace name is up here. We go to Credentials, Request a new token, copy that token, and then paste that in here and click Connect, and then we're ready to go. So we have a search option, and we have both a public and commercial stack catalogue. In our public catalogue we can choose a particular collection of interest. So here I'm looking at Sentinel-2 ARD. It populates both the area of interest we can search in and the date range based on the collection information. And I'm just going to draw on the map an area of interest. I could also select the cloud cover here if I wanted to. That's available for data sets where it's relevant. When I search, I get a set of results. I'll toggle off the area of interest so that we can see that as I click through I can get views of the individual item that I'm looking at. So having selected an item I'm interested in, if I click on this assets option here, it expands and shows me all the assets available. Now it's definitely worth starting by clicking on the quick view of the assets you're interested in, because this uses our tiling service behind the scenes and would only load a resolution of the file that's relevant to the resolution you're zoomed in at. So as I zoom in, you'll see it will go to higher resolution. If you want to download the entire files, then you load selected assets, but this may take a lot longer because some of those are gigabytes in size. if I clear here, and now I'm just going to show the commercial data, and I'm just going to do a selection, spatial selection there. If I toggle these back on and then click search, I'm looking at the Airbus PHR data, and there are a number of thumbnails here showing me what's available. So I found a useful item that I'm interested in. At this point, I can actually request to get a quote to find out how much it would cost me to buy that high resolution imagery. And once the quotes come back, I can select purchase if I choose to buy that. In this case, I'm not going to, but if I did, it would then become visible in the workspace tab. And here are a set of pre-purchased workspaces, pre-purchased images within the workspace tab. And I'm just going to load one of them into the map. And I happen to know that this is a this is based in London, so we will go in and look at that. And if we zoom into the Thames here, so this is a GeoTIFF loading, and we can see it's high resolution. As we zoom in, it will start to render in at higher resolution. An important thing to note is that if you are interested in purchasing data, then you'll need to find out about billing accounts. So if we go to Getting Started, Documentation, and search for billing, you can read all about how we set up billing accounts and how they're related to workspaces. So we strongly recommend using this add-in, but if for any reason you're unable to install the add-in yourself, there is a third option available to you, and that is to connect to a STAC catalogue. And so we can have a look at how that works. So here again in the documentation, if I type STAC catalogue, I happen to know that there is a Jupyter Notebook example with some Python code that points to our STAC catalogue. And if I add public to the end of that, this is the API endpoint that other applications can talk to. So back inside ArcGIS Pro, I can now go to Insert, Connections, Stack Connection, New Stack Connection, and I'm just going to call it EODH Public. I paste in that URL, and then we can see here over in this catalog view we now have stacks listed, and if I double click on that, it will give me a search option to make a search of that stack catalog. And so I can select a collection of interest, Sentinel-2 AID again, and I can express constraints such as date and time and extent and properties, and view results will then perform a search. Unlike our add-in, if I do actually decide I want to add any of these to the current map, it will currently load the entire GeoTIFF file, and that will take a number of minutes. We are working with Esri to see if we can find a way to integrate this connection so that it will load the cloud optimized GeoTIFFs at whatever resolution are needed, and therefore it will be quick and efficient. Okay, so we've looked at 3 different ways in which we can work with the Earth Observation Data Hub and ArcGIS Pro. We started by just demonstrating that we can load layer files, moved on to using the add-in, and then finally looked at how we can integrate with stack interfaces. There are a number of links here that you can follow, and please do get in touch if you'd like to know more. Thank you.